Hello, hello, hello. It's Let's Talk Marriage with the Manleys. Come
Yes.
on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. It's Let's Talk Marriage with the Manleys. We are here tonight. You want to
Yes.
come on in this room? Yes, I see you coming. I see you coming in the room. Come on, come on, come on.
Come on
Let us know
in.
where you're coming in from. Let us know where you're coming in from. Go ahead and like, share, and tag. I see y'all. I see you coming. Come on in the room, everybody. It is
Mm.
Let's Talk Marriage with the Manleys, and we are so
Yes.
excited to be with you all on tonight. So come on in. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Amen. We're glad
Man.
you're with us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming. Hey, Nikki, how are
Yes.
you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad that you are with us on tonight. Yes, come on in, everybody. As you're coming in, it's Let's Talk Marriage with the Manleys. Make sure that you can hear us. If you give us some thumbs up, some hearts up, that lets us know that you can hear us. Hey,
Loretta,
Laretha, good to see
yes.
you. Glad you're here. Come on in. Come on in the room tonight. Come on in,
Man.
everybody. Come on in. Yes, it's Let's Talk Marriage with the Manleys.
Amen.
All right, everybody.
Yes.
Hey, 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 hey. It's time. It's time. We're getting ready to rock and roll. Yes, come on in. Come on in. Everybody, come on in from everywhere. Hey, Daryl Roberts.
Amen.
Family, good to see you all from Washington D.C. Man,
Yes.
we got to get up that way. We got to come up that way so we
Yeah.
can have dinner and hang out.
That's right.
Yes. So we're gonna make a trip and plan to come that way. And you guys gonna plan to come on down here. Come
Uh-huh.
on down south. Yes, come on down to North Kakalaki and let us treat you real good. We got a good seafood place we might take you through. I think your wife has been to it.
Yes.
But we
Oh
might have to
yeah.
take you to the good seafood place and
Oh yeah.
get you blessed real good. Laretha, we gotta make our way on over the way you are. Where are you, Laretha? Are you in Georgia or are you in Florida? Let me know where you are. I know that you're on that side of on that side of the world. So send me, let me know where you're from.
She a little further south,
All
huh?
right, Kate. Daryl said we're gonna be there in 3 weeks.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Woo, woo,
Yes.
woo, woo. We're super excited. We're ready.
Yes.
Oh, okay. On your
Oh, wow.
anniversary.
Okay.
Yes. We're excited. We'll be glad
Yes.
to see you all. Make sure you let us know when you get here so we can get together
Yes.
and just hang out. If we don't do anything but do okay, okay, doing
Augusta.
okay near Augusta. Good. Okay, I know who you are. You down that way. So that's about 5.5 hours from us.
Yes.
Maybe 6 if we put a little extra, depending upon how far you are. But yeah, we
Right.
know how to get there. Yes, we have to make a way down there. It's gonna be
Uh-huh.
some road trips we got to go on. Yes. So come on in the room, everybody. As you're coming in, go ahead and like, share, and tag. We are so excited to be on with you all
Yes.
tonight. And we're ready to get rocking and rolling on tonight. We got a good topic we want to talk about. I hope you saw the title. Yes, I hope you saw the title. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So as you're coming in, come on in. Daryl said they're going to be celebrating 17
Wow,
years.
that's what I'm
And he
talking
said,
about.
we'll be celebrating 17 years where we met. Isn't that something? Y'all met in North
Yes.
Carolina. Come on here. That is awesome.
Yes.
So come on in, come on down, come on down. I think it's going to be wonderful. 17 years. Oh, congratulations
Yes.
on that. Yes. All right, guys. So come on in the room. We get ready to get cranking in just a few minutes. Get ready to get it started. You don't want to miss this topic tonight. It's going to be fire. All right. I'm telling you, it's going to be fire. All righty. We ready to get going. Do you see, Daryl? Do you see what my husband has on? Do you see
Can you
this?
see the hey, gotta represent
Do you
Daryl,
see
right?
this? Come on now. Now he know better than that. Come on. Anyway.
Have to represent.
Anyhow, we're not gonna go there tonight. We're gonna talk about that part. But y'all come on in the room. We're gonna get started in just a few moments. We're ready to get rocking and rolling and
That's
get it
right,
going.
Daryl. Give me those hearts.
There
Give
is
me those thumbs up.
oh
Yes, sir.
Lord,
Yes,
oh
sir.
Lord. Ah, Larissa said dead
No, no,
skins.
Louis.
All right, guys, come on in. Come on in. We're ready to get started. We're ready to get rocking and rolling on tonight. And we're ready to get this thing started on tonight. So, right, come on in the room.
Yes.
Come on in the room, everybody. What's wrong with your screen? Lord, I think my husband got some technical difficulties on his side. But we're going to get started in just a second here so we can get going. Yes,
Yeah,
come on, Aretha Cowboys. Yes, come through. Ma'am, you are in the house. Cowboys all day. And
so, Daryl, you married a cow?
No, this is Aretha.
Oh, Aretha.
This
okay.
is Aretha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come on in the room. Yes. So you know what our house is like when we play. Anyway, but it's still much love. We have a great time. We laugh about it, especially when we score. Just put your hand up, give it 7.
But she couldn't laugh much last year, so.
Well, we had injuries. So, we had injuries, and we have injuries. You have to accept what happens. We had injuries. Anywho, we're ready, and we are rocking and rolling, and we're ready to get it going
Look
on
at Daryl,
tonight.
He said, boo, that's right.
Okay, Daryl, we're going to love on you anyway. Oh, yeah, she said my husband is an Eagle fan. Yeah, you got some problems in your house, too.
Oh, wow.
Good fun during the football season. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, we ready to get started?
We ready to get started. So one thing is you might have to wear our team.
We may have to represent our team. Maybe we'll do that during the football season. We'll do one night where we all represent our teams and put your stuff on. Maybe we can have a Zoom party.
Yeah.
Have a couple of Zoom parties. Everybody put your team representation on, and we'll do that. That sounds like something we can do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because we due for another game night. I don't know if you guys missed the last game night, but we had a game night and we had so much fun. So I think we're due for another game night. So we got to plan that and get that on the calendar as we get ready to go into the fall of the year. So we'll put that on the calendar because we had a great time. I think who got your bell still? Ring that bell. Come on, ring the bell. All righty, so we got our bells. It's exciting. So we're super excited about tonight. I'm just tickled.
Why you tickled?
Because our topic. Daryl said so much. Yeah, we had a great time. A great time.
Yes.
All right, let's get started.
Let's get started. Y'all ready to rumble?
Uh-oh.
All right.
Uh-oh.
All right, so y'all seen the topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so we got to come with a scripture. And so we're going to come from Luke chapter 8, verse 45 through 46. And listen what it says here. Look at Nikki. She got her bells. All right. It says, Jesus said, "Who touched me?" But Jesus said, "Someone did touch me because I was aware that power to heal had gone out of me."
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Let me read that again. Jesus said, "Who touched me?" He asked the question because someone had touched him. He was in the crowd, a multitude of people. And his disciples were saying, "Lord, how could you say someone touched you when you were in the midst of all these people?"
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, "Someone did touch me because I was aware that power to heal had gone out of me."
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that something? So now, if you look at our topic, is it just a touch?
Just a touch.
You got another song? Just the touch of love.
Woo.
A little bit. Come on, y'all. Come on now. I can come up with a song for everything, but that's not me making it. That's a little song. You remember that song?
No, before my time.
Ain't before your time. See, now, let me say this. Certain things don't come down south. See, I'm from up north. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It don't come down south. All right. But now, look, nigga.
Go ahead now. All right. Just a touch.
Yeah. Say, I love that song.
Oh,
yeah,
see? There you see. You edging them on. You edging them on tonight.
But see, Jesus had experienced just a touch.
Mm-hmm.
And so think about it. Just one touch could mean so much.
Absolutely.
In your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that we've talked about it earlier. Physical touch is part of the 5 love languages. Mm-hmm. But we want to kind of look at it a little different on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And so and the question that came in my mind, when was the last time you were touched by your spouse beyond the physical? Something to think about.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
All right.
Let's talk about it. Because there is power in touching.
In touching.
Right? And so that's what we want to explore tonight about the physical part, but not just the physical part, but what touch does to you beyond the physical.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Here we go.
Because when you think about it, a touch will generate a response. Because that's what happened in the scripture. Jesus said, I was aware that someone had touched me. So the touch had generated a response. So we had to ask the question, who touched me?
Absolutely.
So and then the women touched and said to, okay.
The woman touched him.
Yeah. And it said something to Jesus. In other words, it made him aware. And so think about it. When you touch your spouse, does it make them aware of anything? And so what came to my mind was 4 things out of this scripture that we can apply to our relationships as it relates to touch. Number 1, it made Jesus aware that you are important. Think about that. When we touch our spouses, it should signify that they are important.
When she touched Jesus, she signified his importance to her.
Right.
And her healing.
Yes.
She signified what her touching him meant.
Yes.
Because she literally, the Bible talks about that the lady literally got on her knees and crawled through the crowd. And she physically didn't touch his skin, but she only touched just the hem of his garment. And so for her to go to the great lengths to get in a position to touch Jesus's garment, just the garment, meant she realized just how important touching him was. How important it was to put her hands on him to some whatever degree it was. If it's just a finger, we don't know if it was just the tip of her finger because it was crowded. We don't know if it was the tip of her finger. We don't know if she fully grabbed his garment. We don't know if she just got to the, because he had at the bottom of his garment, if you go and study what his garment looked like, the bottom of his garment had the frills on it, the tassel on the bottom of it. And so did she just touch the tassels on the bottom of the garment? What did she literally touch? But whatever she touched, it moved Jesus. It drew a response from him, so much so that Jesus stopped in his tracks to turn around and ask the question, who touched me?
Wow.
That's powerful.
That is. And then the second thing, it made him aware that I value who you are.
Yes. Yes. So talk about that.
For me to touch you, I value who you are. And so, in other words, her touch again had put value on Jesus. Despite all that was going on, she was able to block all the, the noise, all the, the commotion that was going on, and to concentrate on trying to get to Jesus because she valued who he was or who he is. Because she said, if I can just but touch the garment.
So when you put value on your spouse, and it is important that you make that connection of touch, you will get a response. Most of the time, men, talk to me, Daryl, and other men that may be on, when you touch your wife, it causes her to stop for a minute and it gets her attention. It gets her to look at you where she might be busy doing something else. It gets her to stop and look at you. Even wives, when you're talking to your husband, you touch them. It causes them to respond either with grabbing you back, or it causes you to causes them to look at you in your eyes and give you their undivided attention. So touching is important because it creates this attention getter. It is really an attention getter. It gets you to focus on that person rather than on everything else that's going on.
Right.
Like what you said is that no matter what was going on, all the crowd, everything that was happening, she blocked out all of that to zero in on Jesus. And then look what Jesus did. when she touched him, he blocked out everybody else to zero in on her.
Yes. So her touch generated a response.
Right. And so it was reciprocal
Yes.
on both parts.
Man.
She turned around and he did too.
Yes.
He stopped in his tracks looking for her, and she was looking straight for him.
And so they had a conversation.
They had a conversation. And they had connection. And what an amazing thing that touch does, it creates a connection.
Yes.
Now, y'all won't never look at that scripture the same again. I promise you that. Why? Because what happened is that woman knew that if I could just get to Jesus and touch him, I can get his attention to release something to me.
Yes.
Come on now. All right. Y'all with me?
Yes.
To release something to me.
Right. Because now that brings us to the third thing that made Jesus aware, is that I need what you have to offer.
Yes. That's right. It is spiritual touch that creates an emotional response.
Yes.
Right? So then there's a physical touch that then creates a emotional response. And so that was a spiritual movement, there's also that emotional connection that brought them together where they could look eye to eye, and he knew that something had gone out from him that created a healing in her, and she knew she had received something from him. Come on. So they both were receiving something at the same time. Yeah. You're exactly right. It's a spiritual connection.
But what happened, she touched him in such a way that required something, a certain thing to come out of him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So it wasn't just, it was a particular touch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And guess what? There are forms of touching that get your spouse's attention. Sometimes we want to limit it, husbands, to just one form of touching.
Yes.
But there are so many levels of touching that can get your spouse's attention. And if we learn those touches, you will get her to move with you or be more connected to you in different ways, and vice versa. Right. This is for women as well. This is not just limited to the men. All right, because we're going to talk about a little bit more of that.
Because touch is ultimately designed to bring you closer.
Right.
That's right. What it's designed to do, to bring you closer.
Right. And touching releases in your brain something called oxytocin. Mm-hmm. And oxytocin is a chemical that is released in your brain that causes you to begin to relax and become more connected to the person who just touched you. Mm-hmm. It releases and creates a bonding and a connection between you and the person who just touched you, which is why for my single ladies, it's important that you're mindful and you're careful how much touching you're doing in the dating.
That's right.
Because if you're doing more touching than you're doing talking, that man is not going to talk to you when you get married, because you let him touch and create a language with you that's incompatible with what marriage is supposed to represent, because it's not just a touching relationship. It is a communication relationship that you must come into.
Right. And I like the way you said it, because now your communication will be consist of touching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
When it's not the appropriate time to do so.
Right. Right. So my single ladies have to be really careful with that, because touching is what we like to do. We like to hold hands. We like to hug and cuddle. We like to be held, right? But if you create that atmosphere, or you create that in them before they get married to you, then when they are married to you, they will not. Come on, they'll have difficulty talking because they haven't established the right form of connection with you aside from touching.
That's right. That's right. And so now let's look at one more point as it pertains to, for you all just coming in. We're talking about just a touch, and we're coming out of Luke chapter 8, verses 45 through 46, when Jesus asked the question, who touched me? Mm-hmm. Because he said virtue or healing has come out of me because of a touch. And so now the fourth thing that we got out of this scripture, she was communicating, she made Jesus aware that no one is like you.
Yes, yes. Hey, Lady May, good to see you.
Yes,
absolutely. Lady May. Give
no,
our love.
Yeah, she communicated to Jesus, there's no one like you. Despite all these people, there's no one like you.
Yes.
And just think about that. that's what we have to communicate to our spouses when we touch them.
Yes.
That there's no one like you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know, there are so many forms of touching. Mm-hmm. And again, we said, you don't know where she literally touched Jesus. The Bible says she touched the hem of his garment, but we don't really know if that was the fret. We don't know if that was the tassel on the bottom, or if it was literally, did she grab it? Did she just brace it? What did she literally do? But the fact that she knew that that there was something special about Jesus, I've got to get there to touch him. It's the same way with our spouse. We got to keep them at the special place in our life that I have to make daily connection. I have to make a daily touch between the two of us. We have to daily touch one another in order to keep the connection strong, to keep the connection powerful. And when you understand the different levels of touching, you won't be limited in areas.
Right. You just won't be like that. You just won't be limited to just one particular touch.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because what happens, men, is if we and women, if we don't learn and understand the different levels of touching, we will program ourselves to stay in one place.
Right.
Right? We'll program ourselves to do just one form of touching. But touch can be so many different ways. And I hope we'll be able to give you at least a few of those that you can do. There's power in touching.
Right, because what happens is if you get stuck in one form of touching, you will abuse all the others.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so now, with that being said, this is a thought. What does your touch says to your spouse?
What does it say? Come on.
What does your touch says to your spouse? Because, when I think about it, no one should be able to touch me like you.
That's right. Vice versa. Vice versa. And you know what? Let me say that. Touch is even the connection of eye contact. Right? Because eye contact can touch you in a place in your in your emotions that can create something. Come on, y'all. We're not gonna be deep. We just being real practical. You can make eye contact with somebody and it make a touch contact with you, and they haven't even physically put their hands on you.
That's right.
So when my husband just said, no one should be able to touch you more than your spouse, then that is an indication that we have to develop touch outside of just physically only.
Right. And so when I said that, in other words, no one should be able to move you.
Yes,
like your spouse.
That's it. Come on. That's good. That's it.
And so y'all remember this slogan? They said, "Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can."
Yeah.
And so when I thought about that, when that came to my mind, the analogy came that when we touch each other, we should make the other person better. We should make the other person's situation or cause them to feel better because of our touch.
And so your touch can be just that you have done something kind towards them that creates a feeling for them to know that this person cares about me.
Yes.
Right. It could be that you took care of something that was a big deal, or something that was a part of a project, and you helped them out in it, or you took care of it before they had to ask you. It let them know that you valued them. It took them to a different place because now you've touched their heart. Yeah, right. You can't physically see my heart, but you can touch my heart by doing certain things that creates that emotional connection is to what touch actually does.
Right.
And so it's important that we think about touching is not just physical only. Yes, we touch each other. Yes, we may put our hands on each other, but what can you do for your spouse that's not physical oriented, that touches the emotion of your spouse?
Now let's go there. Now because we talked about physical and emotion. So now listen to this here. Now,
hey Harriet, good to see you.
Yes, good to see you. Now we can't get the physical and emotional mixed up.
Absolutely.
Because that's so easy to do.
Absolutely.
We think the physical and the emotional are the same. They are not the same.
That's right.
What do you mean? Because the physical is what it says, physical touch. Holding hands, hugging, cuddling, kissing.
Yes.
Those involve what? The body. But now let's look at the emotional part. The emotional are things that you do that will draw you closer. So in other words, it's the thoughts. It involves our mind.
Yes, yes.
That's the
Yes.
difference. So an emotion generates a feeling, and a feeling generates an action.
Right, right. So that's why even eye contact
Yes.
is good, because eye contact generates and creates a connection that then ultimately can create an emotional emotional feeling that then ultimately brings about a physical.
Right.
And so eye contact is important. You can be across the room and your spouse can be in another part of the house, and you also make eye contact, and there is touch being taken place.
Right, because think about it. You can look at your spouse, with eye contact, and you can look at them in such a way that you can cause them to smile.
Absolutely. That moves the heart.
Right.
See, those are the kind of things we're not talking about just those that you're just physically touching, because we want you to make sure that you're not just limiting your relationship to one aspect. There's so much more that you can explore and experience in your relationship if you don't limit yourself to just one area of touch.
Yes.
Come on.
Now, listen to this. This blew me away. This was from research. This is what I found out. Research has shown it takes 8 to 10 meaningful touches a day to maintain physical and emotional health.
Wow.
8 to 10.
Wow.
Not a week. A day. So the question is, what is your number?
And are you lacking in touches?
Yes.
Come on.
8 to 10. Like they say, we need 8 to 10 glasses of water.
Yes. Right.
So now think about it. As human beings, that's through research, saying we need at least 8 to 10 on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
And so with that being said, that rules out that one form of touching that we as men are accustomed to, that we are programmed, our minds to. Because if we do that, we've missed all the others.
That's right.
Throughout the whole day.
So listen at that. Research says 8 to 10 touches a day.
A day.
So I want you to think about that. Think about that. 8 to 10. How many times today have you touched your spouse?
Wow. That's something to think about.
I mean, literally, put that in your mind and you go thinking about it. How many times today have you touched your spouse? You, not your spouse touched you, but you touched your spouse. That's what we got to think about. Because guess what? This is not just, ladies, listen to me. This is not just for the men. We have to come up.
Men, we definitely got to come up.
We got to come up, ladies, and it can't be just the men touching us. We got to learn to touch them as well, right? And understanding that they need to be touched just as much as we do. Because most men's love language is physical touch. Physical touch in that book, what he's talking about, is not meant to just take you to the bedroom.
Right.
That physical touch is the meaning of them giving the touch and them receiving the touch as well. Whether it be hugs, whether it be kisses, whether it be rubs, back rubs, foot rub, whatever it is, it's a touch.
So now you just mentioned about 6 right there.
Yeah.
So imagine if you did, that's 6.
Absolutely. Guess what? It doesn't have to be all sexual oriented touching. But what we do is we program our minds that that's the only way we can touch. And so with women, we get locked in this place. Every time he touched me, he want to go to the bedroom.
Right,
that's not necessarily the case. And if that's what you're portraying, you need to help. There needs to be some help
to
kind of reprogram that, so she knows that's not the only reason why I'm touching. I just want to put my hands on you. I just like putting my hands. I just like being close to you, or I like to have this connection with you. See, it has to be defined. You gotta discuss what's happening that keeps this connection between the two of you.
Right. And so now, once this should hopefully spark some of us and encourage us. Hey, we gotta touch more.
Absolutely.
In other words, for the betterment of the relationship.
Absolutely. And so think about it, ladies. Just think about the fact, maybe you walk past them and you rubbed him on the shoulder, or you walked past him and you rubbed him, on his head or something. You just touched him of some sort. Even if you didn't touch him, if you just say, "Hey, honey, I love you," those words can touch their heart.
Right.
There's words can connect with their hearing and sends a signal to them. She's thinking of me. She's caring about me. Vice versa. Men saying, "Hey, honey, I love you. Just wanted you to know I love you today." Or just calling her up if you're at work, or sending a text message. Something, because what you're doing is you're sending messages that will touch the heart.
Right. Because
that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. Because think about it. I'm thinking of touches to do that would draw me closer to you.
Yes.
Think about it.
That's good.
Thinking of touches of you that will draw me closer to you.
Yeah.
Thinking of touches to do.
Yes.
So towards you.
Right.
You know?
So when you think, you put conscious effort.
Right.
That means I'm taking time to think it through. Yeah. And not just doing something randomly because I haven't touched you today. Oh, so we ain't touched today, so let's stop and touch each other. No, we're talking about organic touching. We're talking about what comes out of you just from an authentic place. What just comes out of you because you want to make connection with your spouse. Can I say this for my men? Men, if you do more touching, do more connecting with her, do more connecting to her heart and her emotional space, then the nighttime doesn't become difficult. The nighttime is not about the headache. The nighttime is not a hard place because you've made connection throughout the daytime with her. Some type of emotion connection, whether it's a text message, whether it's "Hey baby, I was thinking of you," whether it's just grab her hand, whether it's "Can I get a hug?" or "Let me hug you," or just embrace her, something.
Right.
Okay.
Because think about it. It does something for our emotional bank. Touching.
That's good. Now, y'all need to put that in the comments. It does something for your emotional bank. Touching. There's power in touching.
Yes.
Can I say that again? It is power in touching.
Because think about it. Jesus said, "Power went out of me because of a touch."
Yes. Something releases.
Yes.
When you touch, there is something that goes out of you when you touch. I told you, oxycontin is released in your brain. Why? It's a chemical that's released when you touch. It creates an emotional bank. It creates a place where your emotional bank is being fulfilled. Yes. It fills an emotional bank. And most of us are depleted in our emotional bank. Come on. A lot of us are not fulfilled in our emotional bank, which is why when we get ready to take an emotional withdrawal, there is nothing there. And we go on empty and we say, "I fell out of love," or "I don't love you." No, your bank is just empty.
And don't get it twisted, because your physical bank is full. Don't think that it will transfer over to your emotional bank.
Oh, that's good, Pastor. Did y'all heard that? Say that again, please.
Because your physical bank might have something in it. Don't think it's transferable to your emotional bank.
Absolutely. So think about that. We can have a full tank of gas, right, in our physical. Because, yeah, after all, we physically touching every day. But emotionally, I still can feel disconnected because I haven't connected to you. See, physical touch doesn't create total connection. It starts the process of connection, but it's the kind of touching that you do that creates the connection, right? Okay, so bedroom activity is not the form of total connection.
It's not the end be all, not the be all end all.
Because sometimes you can be bedroom action and have absolutely no connection, but because it's bedroom activity, we think it's emotionally driven. Right. And most of the time, it can be a lot of times that it's not. Let's be honest. Talk about it. Tell the truth. Come on.
Because when it's done, it's done. It's over and done with. And some of us go about our merry way.
Right. So how about when it's over, how much time do you spend just cuddling?
Right.
And spending time with each other, connecting? Or do you just get on up out of bed and it's a done deal? Oh, come on. I know this is tough right here. We going down through this here lane. Yep. I'm not from Georgia. Loretta. But we're gonna come on down here through this lane here, and we're gonna talk about this because guess what we do? We don't get our emotional banks filled, and then we say stuff like, I'm not in love anymore. I don't feel the love, or I don't fell out of love with you. No, you don't have your emotional bank filled because you haven't spent time to know how to fill emotional banks. Come on. Guess what? You got to study your spouse.
That's right.
If you don't know them, how do you know how to feel it? How do you know what meets them emotionally? How do you know what encourages them and gives them, lets them know that you value them? You know that that they are important to you. That's filling the emotional bank.
Right. And men, we have to get to the place where when we touch our wives, we have to let them know, I'm touching you not because I want something.
Then that right there, that part.
I'm touching you because you mean something.
Yes.
I hope you got it. Woo. Not that I want something, but that you mean something.
Come on here.
To me.
That's good right there. Now, y'all, come on now. Put that in the comments. Men, put it out there. Men, remember. Men, understand.
Yes.
Right? He just said that I'm not touching you because I want something. Right? But I'm touching because you mean something. That takes a whole different level. And do you know how much you have poured in and deposited into her emotional bank when you do that? Honey child, listen. That girl, that woman, that wife is willing to do anything when she knows you are feeling that area of her life. You're feeling that area. Come on here. I think I want to hear my husband say it again.
I'm not touching you because I want something. I'm touching you because you mean something.
Yes, I listen. Well, all right, shows up.
That concludes our service tonight. Thank you, and God bless you.
Let's not marry this over. Okay, we see y'all later. Oh, but it's good stuff because when you think about it, men have to really keep that at the forefront, right? Because women can get, especially our newlywed couples, our newly wedded couples, when they first get married, it feels like every single touch is to take me somewhere.
Yes.
Every single touch is got to be because of this, right? So Derek's going to ring that bell. That's right. Every single touch is got to be here.
Right.
But when you establish, I'm not touching you because I want something. I'm touching you because you mean something to me more than just that action.
Yes.
Then that puts an emotional deposit in her bank. Come on. And when you put something in the bank, guess what? When it's time to pull a deposit out, you're going to get something out of there. Oh, y'all stop it.
In other words, you ain't got to worry about filling out the slip. She was filling out for you.
Oh, Lord, listen, Pastor tonight. He said, what? Listen, go and do the slip for you.
Right.
Go to the drive-thru and pick it up for you and bring it home. Who was that? What was that commercial? Bring home the bacon. And I'm gonna fry it up in the pan. Yes, when you make those emotional deposits, what happens is they pour it back on you. They give it back on you. I always say that if you are willing to pour in, you will get it poured back on you. It's a process of sowing and reaping. And that's the principle in the word that we don't practice. We think it's only limited to giving, but that's not really what that scripture is really talking about. It's not talking about giving. We made it giving. Go back and read it. It's not talking about giving. It's talking about you sow a thing, you will reap a thing.
Right.
What is that thing you're sowing that you desire to get back? When you sow it, you'll get it. You sow in love, sow in peace, sow in joy, sow in what? In kindness. You get those things back. And so when you think about that, it's talking about sowing into your spouse that you then will reap. It's not I'm doing that because I want to reap, but when I do that, I know that that's the process that will come back to me.
Right, because as the scripture says, it says, whatever whatever area that wherever you measure, area you
Yes.
measuring, it should be measured back to you
Yes.
again.
Yes.
But think about it. It should be measured back to you again if you separate the word for a gain.
Come on. Come on. Again and again. Again and again.
Right. So it's going to be measured back to you more
than you put out.
Right.
That's why I always say to women, when you sow in love, when you sow with your words, when you learn to make love with your mouth and speak love into that man, guess what? He's going to turn around and start to give it back to you. Sowing is a process, it's a principle, and it is a spiritual principle and a law that it works. It absolutely works. You put seed in the ground. Come on, you leave it in the ground, you water it. Come on, you fertilize, you make sure that the ground is fertilized, you water it, you tend to it. Come on, you can continue to cultivate it. Guess what? It's going to bring up something because it has to, according to the ground that you put it in.
Yes.
And here's the principle. If you touch and give and put in the ground right, in the ground of your spouse, in the ground of your wife, the ground of your husband, guess what? You will receive back, but you got to sow in the ground.
Yes. But you got to value the ground.
Well, come on.
You have to see some value in the ground.
Come on.
The ground has to mean something to you.
Right.
The ground is not something for you to walk upon.
Ooh,
to step on.
And trample on.
Right.
Come on. You walk there because you have, but it's not to be trampled upon.
Yes.
Oh, God, come on. Y'all, don't listen. Stay with us. Right, because touching is important, but we're talking about making sure that you're touching meaningfully, that it creates and builds the emotional bank of your spouse, male and female.
Because think about it. If we get to that point, it should tell us that I don't want anybody else to touch me but you. Because you're the only one that can touch me in such a way.
And then you'll start guarding yourself.
Yes.
Come on here. Then you start protecting yourself.
Your heart, guarding your heart.
Yes, guard your heart.
Yes.
And protecting yourself from predators, come on, outside of your house or outside of your relationship that would try to violate, come on, what you have built one with another. And so there's where you have to put up a protection and say, I don't want nobody else touching me like my spouse does. So I guard even my eyes.
Right, right. Because this song said, nobody can touch me like the way you do.
I don't know that song, Pastor.
Well, okay, don't worry about it. But I'm going to make it up. But that's the way it should be, that nobody can touch you the way your spouse touches you.
Right. Honey, y'all, my husband come up with these songs. I'm not sure where they come from. But anyway, y'all know I'm younger than my husband.
Do y'all believe that? No.
Anyhow, the point being that nobody should be able to touch you like your spouse.
Yes.
And let me tell you, the reason why we get caught up in outside relationships and outside extramarital experiences outside of your relationship, emotional and physical, is because we haven't protected ourselves from allowing someone else to touch us in a way that our spouse doesn't. Okay. And let me say this. So when you're vulnerable, you can't just be out there dilly-dallying around and acting like you okay, knowing that someone is touching you in a place that they shouldn't. And I'm not talking about physical. Right. I'm talking about eye contact. I'm talking about how they talk to you. I'm talking about how they whisper up on you. I'm talking about when them bringing you some lunch, come on, or inviting you out to lunch. Come on, we got to guard all of that. Yes. Because that creates emotional connections. Breaking bread with somebody is the quickest way to build a bond.
Yes.
That's why Jesus broke bread with the disciples before he had to go through the crucifixion, go to the crucifixion process. He broke bread to build a communion and to build connection with them that they knew that he loved them. This is why he said, whoever dips this bread in the bowl with me, He's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. And the thing about that, now this ain't a Bible study session, but what got me about that whole thing is Jesus said, "Who put your hand in there?" And he put his hand in there, and the disciples still didn't recognize who he was. How is that? Lord have mercy. That's a whole nother message for a whole nother day. Okay,
Right.
we're gonna stay over here. That's right. Don't send don't send the wrong messages for what you don't want to connect yourself to.
Yes, yes.
Because guess what? There are assignments. There are spirits that are watching you. There are witches and warlocks. Witches assigned to men, warlocks assigned to women to watch and see where you're vulnerable, to see if they can make a connection to separate the emotional connection and the bond you have with your spouse.
Just think about it. How did the two of you get together? How did the two of you get together? What was some emotional touches?
Right.
When you saw her.
Come on.
When she saw you.
Eye contact.
Eye contact. Huh?
That's right. That's right. Loretta, you can't be he and he hawing along with everybody. He haw.
Nah. You gotta let them know. You gotta say that's all, folks.
No.
That's it.
Because if you don't, what you do is you create a violation, and you allow them to cross over into territory that they're not supposed to be.
Right. You have taken down the do not trespass sign.
Come on. And you allow them to trespass on property that does not belong to them.
Right.
So here they are in violation, but you allow them in. Huh?
So now they're not in violation.
All right. This is like me opening up the gate and saying, "Hey, y'all, come on in. And when you get in, then I change my mind and say, "Oh, y'all ain't supposed to be in here." Come on. It don't make sense to
right.
it. Make it make sense for me. All right.
So now, as we kind of bring this to a close, I want to read another verse of scripture. I hope y'all are getting something out of this. Listen what it says in Hebrews 4 and verse 15. It says it. For we do not have a high priest, it's talking about Jesus, who is unable to sympathize and understand our weaknesses and temptations. Why? Knowing exactly how it feels to be human in every respect as we are.
Okay.
So as that pertains to touch, listen to this. So when you touch, it shouldn't be about you or about you when you touch your spouse. It should be about the one that you are touching.
Yes.
Why? Because you understand that they need a touch.
And so it has to be about, like we said last week, love or expressions of love are not focused on you.
Yes.
Expressions of love is focused on the individual that's going to receive it. So when you focus on them, there's a release that comes from you that connects to their heart. When you're focused on touching them, because it's about them, you touching them to not get something, but to touch them to connect.
Right.
When you're touching to make the connection, it automatically brings about a sense of security and safety with you.
Right.
All right. Y'all think about that.
Now I know you know this song. I want to be next to you.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
You know that? So now, yeah, and that's the thing. That's what the touch should signify. I want to be next to you. I want to be close to you.
Yes.
It means something for me to be close to you.
Amen. So that's an important aspect.
Right.
Because one of the things I think we have to do is make sure that we're making that emotional connection with them. And they know this is not about me getting something from you, but it's about me giving something to you. Me getting something to you. I'm trying to give you something from me. And that's my love. That's my expression. That's my connection. That's just letting you know I'm trying to get something to you.
Right.
So what are some ways that we can touch one another that touches the heart of that person? What are some ways that you can put some things in the comments? What are some ways that you can touch your spouse that connects you or brings a connection between the two of you all that's not necessarily a physical kind of touch?
Right.
We're not talking about just going bedroom, but we're talking about how can I connect with my spouse that brings me into a connection with them, heart emotion. What did she do? When the woman touched Jesus' garment, she showed the importance and the value of who he was because she was willing to bow, get on her knees, and crawl through the crowd to touch him. Mm-hmm. What are you willing to do to get to your spouse's heart? Mm. What are you willing to do to get to your spouse's heart and feel their emotional bank? Right. Thank you. Daryl said text love songs. Yes. Come on, Daryl. Yes, with the lyrics. Yes, come on here.
You know about that too, don't you?
Yes. Somebody said compliment them on little things they do. Yes, that's right. Compliments. Very good.
Yes.
Bring something home that they like. Yes, absolutely. Y'all in here tonight. Yes. Oh, that's good. Show them you are listening. That's right. When those are things that pour into their emotional bank. When they're talking, you ain't doing something else. I remember when we were a couple years back, my husband and I, we much better in now because it was one time I get really frustrated. But when I'm talking and he was doing something else, and he would start moving his mouth because he was doing something, but he's concentrating on something else, and he would be over there moving his mouth, and I'm just talking. Finally, one day I said, "Okay, no, I'm not talking now. I stopped talking." So he looked at me. He's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "Because you're not listening. You doing something else. I can see your mouth moving because you're thinking about it, and you're not focused on what I'm doing." So that was depleting me emotionally because I needed to talk then. So what I had to do is talk when I got his undivided attention so that I can get poured into, but I can also pour into him what I'm trying to get to him.
And then she didn't know, eventually that response touched me to where I had to change my behavior as it pertains to her.
That's good. She said, bring up subjects they enjoy talking about.
Okay, yes.
That's good. Let her know how important she is. Yes, right there. Let her know how important she is to you and how much you value them. I value our relationship.
Yes.
There's nobody else that can do touch me like you. There's nobody else that I even want. I'm not looking at nobody else.
That's right.
They can all come up here. I ain't looking because all of my eyes are on you.
That's right.
You know, you gotta confirm and reaffirm that in your spouse.
And guess what? That needs to be done daily.
Right. Y'all heard this gift statistic. The statistic said that you need to be doing. The research shows 8 to 10 meaningful touches a day to maintain physical and emotional health.
Because guess what? The Bible even says that God daily loadeth us with benefits.
Yes. So daily he's giving something to us.
Right.
Come on. So you need to keep your physical and emotional health intact. Y'all hear that? To keep your physical and your emotional health intact. Healthy.
Yes.
Come on. Then there needs to be 8 to 10 touches. So you need to ask yourself, how healthy am I emotionally and physically as it relates to this relationship?
As it relates to touch.
Am I giving the touches? Am I receiving the touches? Come on. Am I giving the touches? What's happening here? 8 to 10.
So you know what? This could be a lot of fun. Well, y'all can be in competition. Say, what number are you on? What number are you on?
Oh, Lord.
I mean, hey, but you can make it. But you can make it however you want to make it. Yeah. I'm gonna beat you before you beat me.
Even if you don't really say it, just put it out there in your mind that I'm gonna make my goal to touch my spouse at least 8 to 10 times today. At least 8 to 10 times. Now you might have to start off slow because some of you all might not be able to remember to do it because you haven't done it.
Right.
So you got to take your time getting there. But start it. Start doing something. Start putting that into action. Start making that a part of your daily routine. Just like you get up and you brush your teeth. I hope you do. Okay. And just like you get up and take your shower and your bath. Because just like you do certain things, those things need to be a part of what you do towards your spouse.
Yes.
What am I doing? What is my connection? Are we? And here's the thing. Then you can ask the question, how am I doing, baby? How am I doing, honey? Do you feel connected to me?
Yes.
What do you feel about us, where we are, and where we're going? Then you can survey and see what's in your bank account.
Yes, that's good. Then your spouse can give you a response. I like it when you did this.
Yes.
I like it when you did that.
That's good. That's right. Automatic. Yeah. It needs to be automatic and a part of you. And you're right. When you start doing something, then your spouse can start saying, I liked it this way. Like when you did that. Man, when you said that to me the other day, ooh, Lord, that just something ran up down my spine.
Yeah, I like the way you comb your hair.
Okay. We're going to shut this off right here.
And you know why. No,
right? Oh, that's good. Darren said we used to do report cards. That's right. Wow. Sit down and where are we? Do progress reports. Progress reports on where you are. Progress reports on what's happening in the relationship. Listen, it's okay to survey and to find out where you are in the relationship. You should. And if you don't do it, you need to start. Because how do you know where you all are in the relationship?
That's interesting because we check where we are in every other aspect of life.
Absolutely. 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 We need to learn how to survey and check and do updated checks. You know, doing those health checks on our relationship. Do our emotional checks on our relationship. Are you fulfilled emotionally in this relationship? Are you fulfilled emotionally in this marriage? Huh? Because guess what? You can be having a whole bunch of physical bedroom conversation, and there not be any emotional connection there. Come on now. And come on. As our newlyweds and new couples, you get caught in the trap, and especially new wives, of understanding that it's not all about the physical.
Okay, let me say that. That's short-lived.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
It's short-lived.
Sure it is. Sure it is. You better believe that. Come on. So you gotta develop the emotional part of your relationship so that there's longevity in your relationship.
Yes, yes.
And this is the reason why you see couples break up early who can't sustain a relationship, can't stay in a marriage because they focus on the wrong area. But when you see longevity in a relationship, you see couples that's been married for 15, 20, 30 years, it's because they have developed that muscle in their marriage of pouring in and connecting, not only physically, but emotionally, yes. That there's longevity in the relationship because now you're building something.
Right. And then when you build something, you can weather the storms.
Absolutely. Right. And what we have to learn how to do is build not just for the moment, but build for the long term.
Yes.
What we do is we get married and we build our marriage for a moment. We put our foundation on sand. But when you build on concrete, you build on bricks, and you build with a foundation, something solid and strong, you're saying we're building this marriage for the long haul.
Yes.
There are things we're going to endure through the long haul that we're going to have to put some things in place so our emotional wealth and our physical health in this marriage is strong.
Yes.
That's why you got to make sure physical touch or touching is a part of that. Touching the heart, touching them emotionally, touching them in their soul, where they respond certain ways. What did Jesus do? Jesus stopped in his tracks, turned around to focus on her. She was focused on him, and he in turn turned around and was focused on her. When you touch your spouse the right way, you touch your spouse, not just physically, but in their emotion, they will stop and put their attention on you. Come on, y'all. Wives, kind words, kind words.
Men,
feed emotions.
You got to be gentle. How you handle your wife. As the Bible says, we are to nourish and care for our wives, just like Christ does the church.
Yes. That's it. That in a nutshell covers it all.
Yes.
Because when you think about it, when you care for your spouse according to the way God has ordained for you to care for them. This is God's son. When I care for him according to him being God's son, then I won't misuse or abuse what God has given. Vice versa.
And it doesn't take much, but just a touch.
Come on. Just one touch change the whole aspect of that lady's life.
Yeah.
One touch can change the whole aspect of your marriage. The right touches.
Yes.
The right pouring in of touches that gets that spouse to connect with you. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all good? I hope so. Tonight's title was Just a Touch.
Just a touch.
Y'all need to share this. Get this on your timelines. Sharing is caring. Share it. Get on your timeline. Let somebody know. Come on. Put it in somebody's, go to somebody's messenger and say, hey, I need you to hear this. Because some of you will have some friends, couple friends that may be going through something that they just need to know. It's not about how much bedtime room you can get, but it's about the connection that you're making outside of there that will sustain and bring the longevity of the relationship.
That's right.
Now, the bedtime room is wonderful. The bedtime room is needed. The bedtime room is important, but it cannot be the focus. Because guess what?
That shouldn't make it break you.
Right. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Darryl, God bless you, Darryl. We appreciate you being on.
Yes.
We can't wait to see y'all in 3 weeks, too. Yeah, we got to go ahead and start planning now. I mean, I know that's your anniversary. I know that. But maybe we'll get together in a short span, maybe about 10 minutes. Y'all give us a little space.
Squeeze us in.
Give us a little space.
We won't take much time.
It'll be good to get together.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for being on tonight. It was great. I hope you got something. All right, now by way of an announcement, and I've been sharing it. I want you guys to join up. For some of you all, share it. Get it out there. I'm going to be having a class entitled His Heart, Your Hand. And I'm going to be teaching on how to get your husband's heart in your hand. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact a lot of times as women, as wives, we hold their hands much longer than we ever hold their heart. Right? We hold their hand, their provision, their protection, their strength in their hands. But we don't hold their heart. We don't get them. We don't come to a place where we're holding the vulnerable place of them, that we nurture and hold them the way they need to be held in terms of how we handle them with our words, with our actions, with a lot of different things. So I'm going to take you through different ways of how to get that man's heart. I'm coming out of my book that I wrote entitled Delilah's Bed, The 6 Secrets to a Man's Heart. You want to get a copy of this book, you can go to Amazon and get a copy of it, or you can go to my website. Also go to my website if you're interested in registering for that class. It's going to be next Monday and next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Next Monday and next Tuesday at 7 p.m. I will be talking about His Heart, Your Hand. So, go to my Facebook page. You can see it. So I got flyers up. If you've been on Instagram, it's all over there. I want you to join that class because it's going to be important for you to be there, especially some of you all who are struggling. Yeah, I know some of you out there, you're struggling.
So when you say that, it's more important that you touch your spouse's heart than their hand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The hand is a limited place. The hand is an extension from their heart, right? Especially on women, we like to stand on the left side of our husbands. Think about yourself. I know I do. I stand on the left side of my husband. I'm sitting on his left side. In my bed, I sleep on the left side. Why do I do that? I don't even know. Now I'm thinking about it. It's probably mostly because I'm his rib. I couldn't fulfill that space, but it's closest to his heart as well. And so when we are on his hand, the distance between that man's hand and his heart is a distance. Some of us need to let the hand go and get to the heart. Heart means I'm creating a place of safety for him. I'm creating a safe space that he can feel good and comfortable and open and vulnerable with me to be able to share and talk to me and give me things.
And you can put the hand down.
I'm not talking about physical things giving me. I'm talking about give me his emotions, himself, right? Much of the time we don't have our husbands. So if you want to learn how to do that, I've been married for 29 years. For those who are coming on, you don't know us. We've been married for 29 years. And we've been through some stuff. Yes. First 10 years weren't that good. We wanted to throw it in the towel. But we decided to stick and stay, to work through it,
That's
to
right.
heal. Come on, to work on ourselves individually. So get into class. Come on, it's an investment. It is an investment into you to be a better wife.
And it's worth it.
Come on.
Trust me.
So if your marriage is worth anything, make the investment. We invest in everything else. We invest in weave, fingernails. Come on, everything else. But we don't invest in our marriages. Come on. And that's who that's the person that you said to death do part. Mm-hmm. That's the person you said that I'm going to be with until the end.
That's right.
That's right, Daryl. Be like King David and pursue the heart. You got to go after the heart. You're going after the hand too much. Right? And I'm going to teach you how to stop talking. I'm teach you some things about talking to his head. All right. I'm not giving it all to you. Y'all think I'm going to give it to you? I'm not.
Come to the class.
Get in the class. Get in the class. Nikki was in one of my classes. Tanisha was in one of my classes. They can tell you what my classes are like. I'm real straightforward and very raw, and I tell you the truth. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna give you no fluff. I'm gonna give it to you. And when you walk away, you're gonna have some things you can actually do that you can apply. Ask Nikki on this line the testimony of her marriage. Ask Tanisha. I'm sure Derek can testify that the class was a blessing to his wife. I promise.
I can testify.
Okay, testify then, Pastor. Testify, honey.
They work. We are here because of it.
Mm-hmm. So if you're looking, you're listening to me, you're like, okay, I like her, but I don't know. I'm telling you, get in class. I promise you, it'll be the best investment of your life. The best investment of your life.
That's
you
right.
will not regret it. Not a day. I'm not gonna play with you. I'm not gonna take your money and not do good by you. Look at Daryl said it works. Listen, yep. The men are speaking. I'm telling you, you get in this class, your husband is going to thank you that you invested in them, in your relationship. Mm-hmm. I promise you. All right? Get your books. You're going to thank
yourself.
Yes, get your books. Delilah's Bed, 6 Secrets to a Man's Heart. Yes, I talk about it. Delilah was something else. Yep. Delilah was something else. Yes, Delilah was a bad girl. Yes, she was good. Girl knew her stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's something we can learn from her. Come on now. So, that's it for me.
All right.
All right. Now, guess what? We're going to be back here same time.
That's right.
Same show. Same time. Next week. Ray Parker. Come on. Ray Parker said it works. I'm telling you. The husbands are speaking. Y'all better get in the class now. Don't delay. Go to my website. It's on the screen. www.theelitewife.com and register. I want to see at least 3 to 4 of you all register tonight. Don't wait on it. Don't even delay. Don't even let your mind think about it. Just go on and do it. Get in the class because I promise you, you're going to be blessed. Mm-hmm. You're going to be blessed. Go now. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. Go on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And get in.
Get in the class.
So you can touch your husband.
Yes. Come on, you've been watching, you've been listening. I know. Get in the class. It's going to be good. I promise you.
Because you know it's powerful when a man says it works.
Yep.
When a man opens his mouth.
Yep. It's stuff I learned. Trial and error. A lot of trial. But thanks be to God. We've come through.
That's right.
All right. So that's it for us tonight. It's Let's Talk Marriage with the Manleys. We're so glad that you joined us on tonight.
Yes, we are.
We are super excited that you were here. We pray that you were blessed, that you got something from tonight's session. Just a touch.
Just a touch.
Take that away. I want you guys to be on assignment to touch your spouse 8 to 10 times. Mm-hmm. Be on assignment to touch. Come on now. All righty. Get to touching and see what's going to happen.
That's right.
All righty. We love you guys. We will see you next week.
Next week.
Same time, 8 p.m.
Yes.
Let's talk marriage with the Manleys. Take care.